Good evening. Tonight I'm going to give my persuasive speech on why America needs a third strong political party. Without a strong third political party, America will continue to be stuck in a cycle of hostile and irrational extremes of the Democratic and Republican parties who do not provide a meaningful path forward for our country. We, as Americans, are becoming numb to the rhetoric, to the childish games that political parties play on each other and are constantly being fed this rhetoric by the national and local news sources. By having a strong third party, a centrist party, that would lean to both the left and the right, this would give the voice of reason in the chaos that has become American politics. Today I will present to you how, by having a third-party system, we as American people can find a way to stop this and gain back our country. I love politics and our American government, the history of it, and how it allows citizens to be a part of it. After this last presidential and midterm election, it is becoming more and more apparent that the way that most Americans feel about important issues are more moderate than the far left and the far right politicians who are running our government feel. Feeling this way, I started researching on what a moderate politician would look like and what party they would fit into. Unfortunately, there isn't a clear answer yet, but the centrist party is gaining momentum, and hopefully as more people understand what the party represents and how good representation runs under that banner, then the shakeup of politics as we know it can happen. Let us begin with the problem of a two-party system. With our current political parties, we are not being given a meaningful path forward for our country. By having a strong third party, a centrist party, we would be able to lean both to the left and the right and would give the voice of reason in the chaos that has become American politics. The economy is stagnant. Millions are out of work, and graduates carry a heavy debt load. Major entitlement programs such as Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid are becoming increasingly expensive and are often the first in line for budget cuts. With or without Obamacare, our healthcare system is inefficient and expensive. Our major infrastructures are crumbling. The American Society of Civil Engineers has estimated that the United States needs to spend $2 trillion just to fix the roads, bridges, and rail lines that we have. This cost does not include what is needed for updates. Climate change is happening. We need for politicians to stop arguing over its existence and start putting plans into place to fix what can be fixed. America's poverty rate is higher than it was in 1975. America spends more on military defense than the next 13 countries with the highest defense budgets behind us combined. And yet we lack the strength in our government to promote global peace and cooperation. And finally, we are not paying our bills. We continue to accumulate debt to other countries and do not pay them back. Now that we have identified the problem, let us look into some solutions that would happen by adding the centrist party. The solution is a hard reset on American policy. The centrist party needs to gain strength by being the middleman, the one that vote swings towards the good in both parties in order to bring the chaos back to the center. By taking the best of both parties, the centrist party will discard the nonsense and build something new and better for American politics. The centrist party will take what is best about the Republicans and Democrats, use it to create better policies that are more in line with the average American moderate. What is so great about the Republican Party? They have a belief in personal responsibility, a respect for markets, and wealth creation, an understanding of the economic cost of taxation, regulations, and a healthy skepticism of what government can and cannot accomplish. What is so great about the Democratic Party? They have a strong concern for working people, a commitment to a strong social safety net, an impressive record of social tolerance, a long standing concern for the environment, and a recognition that government plays a role in protecting the American people from capitalism. Now that we have examined some viable solutions, let us visualize how you and I can benefit by having a centrist party as an option. How can the centrist party survive where so many other third parties have failed? The answer is simple: by staying central. Political parties change with time and economic environments. The centrist party would and should always stay in the middle of the two major players, never trying to take center stage, but always being the voice of reason and the voice of what most of the American people want. We want the noise to stop and the action to take place. Start with the U.S. Senate. Look at how close the Democrats were to overthrowing the Senate in the last midterm. Currently, we have a House controlled with 51 Republicans and 47 Democrats. This means that as policies are being passed, mainly Republican policies will be voted through, and vice versa if the Democrats hold the House. If just a few centrist party politicians were voted in, then they could sway the votes. By having the centrist party, the government would then be given the power back to the American people because the House is comprised by direct popular votes and is not an electoral college like the votes for the presidency is. Let us summarize what we have just discussed. I think that we can all agree that something needs to change. If American politics continues the way it is and the way that we are going, then every 4 years we will have a new cycle of government, which would just be the next president trying to undo policies put into place by the president before. We need a solution, and the centrist party is that solution. I only have a short time with you, so I encourage you to do your own research. As you become more educated on the subject, you will find that we as Americans can take some control back from the government, and the country can be ran the way that the Constitution was intended. Thank you, and I hope everybody has a great night.